Oh, hi there. Oh, you want to know what I'm throwing? Sweet. Let's talk about it. What's up, disc heads? This is Disc Wall here. Today we're going to be doing a in the bag. Let's get right in. First, we're going to be talking about the putting putters. New mold this season. PA3s. Fractal, firm. I wanted a putter with a bead. These are very comfortable. A lot of glide for how overstable they are. So this is what we're trying out this year. So far, I've been loving them. Next up, we're going to talk about throwing putters. I have 3 of them. This is strictly backhand. We're not talking zones or anything like that yet. Base plastic Envy, really point and shoot. You can throw it on some hyzer, it'll flip up, go straight. Throw a little harder, you can get it to flip up, get a little turn out of it. Great for in the woods, great for approaches that you want to stick because of the plastic. And then we have a premium plastic Sparkle Proton Envy. This is my straight flyer. Still has a good amount of fade, but if you put it on Annie, it'll definitely hold that all the way over. But you really won't get too much hyzer flip out of this. This is for super dead straight shots in the woods, out in the open. You throw on a little hyzer, dependable fade, but not the big dump that you'll get out of this one, which is a Cosmic Neutron Envy. This is my overstable workhorse. You can throw flex lines with it, big hyzers. This disc is awesome. Just rip these on big, wide open fairways where there's a little bit of a headwind, but you don't need a mid or fairway driver. This is very dependable. And now we're going to talk about some throwing putters that I throw for forehands. And that is, first and foremost, the Castoplast Berg, the Am's Delight, as Luke Humphreys would say. Super, super awesome disc. I call it the cheater disc because it just really sits wherever you throw it. This one's still got a decent amount of stability. I've got this one in K1 normal, just, kind of like Star Plastic. And next, new to the bag, is a Axiom Discs Tempo. I use this for backhand shots that need a little bit of dependability fade. And then for forehands where I can kind of whip my wrist a little bit on a slight hyzer, it'll pop up and go very straight before dumping. That's really come in clutch for some not really big, but bigger forehand hyzers where I need more push than what I get out of an ESP zone. This is a slightly tick more overstable. I'll only really throw this forehand. I'll never really throw it backhand. It's a little too deep for my comfort. Don't really like it. But the zone is a dependable disc that everyone can use in their bag. And next we're going to talk about mid-ranges. The mids that I bag are, my flippy mid is a MVP Detour. I've actually been loving this. You got to throw with a little bit of finesse, a little bit of touch. But once you kind of figure this disc out, you can manipulate it to do so many things. Awesome beginner disc as well. Can't recommend it enough. And then tried and true, trusty, been in the bag since 2021. Just a flat ESP swirly Buzz. This one is very beat. Throw it flat, it'll get a little turn, it'll still come back. It's got a little bit of dependability. Throw it on some nice turnovers where it'll slightly pan right at the end. Awesome workhorse. And then right now, for the overstable Buzz slot, and when I say overstable, I just mean hit it flat and it wants to push and slowly go left. This is what we're throwing. But I also am currently, where's it at? Trialing this absolutely gorgeous Z, kind of swirly, smoky blue with a Wonder stamp. Haven't really gotten to throw this at all. We're going to toss it a few times here today, but these are going to be competing for that overstable slot in my bag. What's going on, guys? Just a little update. I threw both of these Buzzes, and this is in the bag. This Buzz is so money. And next we have the Simon Line Balance. Had the Pyro in the bag for a while. This disc kind of overtook its slot. Not that the pyro is any worse or this is any better. This just does what I wanted it to do better, which is that slight more glide, a little bit more distance out of it. Because its counterpart, my deflector, absolute workhorse, absolute beefcake, chop forehands, really tight flex lines, great in the woods, great in the open, laughs in the face of wind. The deflector is an awesome disc, and anybody should have one of these in the bag, especially for these Midwest winds. And next, we're going to talk about fairways going from 6 speed all the way up to 10. First and foremost, we got the servo. This is heavily dependent on the wind if I ever really throw it, but it's an awesome woods disc. It's beat up, tight flip up lines. It'll go dead straight, get a little bit of fade. If I throw it flat, it'll just keep turning. So awesome woods carving fairway. And then right behind that, we have its more overstable counterpart, the resistor. This resistor is not as beefy as the numbers would suggest, which is kind of my experience with this mold, which I'm not mad about. You can throw it forehand very well. You can throw it backhand very well. Hyzer lines, flex lines, great in the woods, gets a nice skip. The resistor is a sweet disc. It's also my grenade disc. If I need to throw, 250 foot to 320 feet grenades, this is probably the disc I'm going to. And then next we have a first run Paul Macbeth Discraft Athena. This is an absolute workhorse. My goodness. Furthest flying disc in my bag on most days. This thing is an absolute crusher. This should have 7 speed, 7 glide. I mean, that's how long it wants to stay in the air. This thing just wants to go. This one's a little beat up. Hit flat, it'll just travel straight, dump at the end. You can throw nice slight flex lines with it. An awesome mold. And next we have the MVP Terra. I had a fireball in the bag. It was a little bit too overstable for what I was wanting, but luckily James Conrad came out with this. Much better for how I want to throw that shot. Yeah, MVP Terra. And next we have a very beat up, very loved, very true 4-claw Undertaker. It's got a sweet ghost stamp, Paul Macbeth right there in the middle. This thing has been in the bag since they came out, so it is beat. It is my flippy turnover, get as far down a wooded fairway as possible without throwing the disc super hard, but still getting enough distance. Can't say enough good things about this disc. I'm going to be so sad when it's not in my bag anymore, but once it becomes too flippy, it might become my roller. So we'll see. And right behind that, we have a MVP Tesla. Very overstable at first. This one's seasoned, very straight now. You can throw it with a flex, it'll come back. You throw it straight, it'll have that nice dependable dump. Great disc for wide open, a little bit of wind, keeping it under the wind. Very good disc. Yeah, just a fission or a cosmic neutron Tesla. And right behind that, the new Proto Ricky Wysocki Halix. The Halix and the Onyx are very much similar in the way they fly, not in the way they feel. The Halix is definitely deeper. Actually feels a little better for forehand than the Onyx did for me. But this disc has been very fun to throw. Lots of glide, lots of distance out of it. Very dependable. Yeah. A Halix. And then this disc may or may not stay in the bag, but for right now it's in it. Champion Starfire. This disc was the first disc that I was throwing for distance forehands when I first started playing. And for nostalgia purposes, I recently put it back in the bag. And I've actually been really enjoying it. So, yeah, it's just a nice run of old school PDs, basically. Boo! I'm so sorry to interrupt the video, but I wanted to make a quick announcement before we continued on. I'm very excited and pleased to announce that I'm joining Team UnderPar. And what that means is I will be an ambassador for the brand Team UnderPar. It's a clothing brand that specializes in performance jerseys and performance polos, mostly customizable, all sorts of things. They even have regular t-shirts with print graphics as well as hoodies. People love their hoodies. I know I do. So head on over to the website. I will put the link in the description below, and I cannot wait to rep this brand, to grow this sport, and just be under par. Thank you. And now we're going to move on to the distance drivers. I have a 165 Destroyer, kind of flat. I use this for flip up, forehands, big tailwind drives. If I need something to just really flip, if I have a wide open lane that I can just mash on something, and if it goes too far right, it's not a big deal. I mean, who doesn't love a Destroyer? Right behind it, we have a nice beat up Grace. This thing is an absolute workhorse. This is one of my max distance discs. Pretty flippy now, great in a tailwind. You throw it in a headwind on hyzer, you can get really big flex lines out of it. Sweet disc, the Grace. And behind it, I've got a Trail. These are very straight, awesome forehands. You can really pound on these flat, and they'll just go so straight, and then have a baby finish at the end. Awesome for the woods if you need to get out of a gap. Backhand, same thing. You can throw little baby flexes with it. The Trail is awesome. And then behind that, we have a Raptor Eye Royal Grand Rive. This disc is something that I accidentally fell in love with. Didn't used to throw this fast of a disc, but this disc feels and fits in my hands so well that I started throwing it, and this is my distance driver. This is my bomber. Gotten a little flippy, can still hold up to some headwinds. A little bit more overstable than that Grace. Throw it on a hyzer, it'll probably flip up and go straight and fade. Throw it flat, you can get some good turn out of it, and it'll still come back. Big flex lines. You can get some good tight lined hyzer flips out of it. Awesome disc. And then right behind that, we have a Saki Bomb General. This disc is an absolute workhorse, very beefy. A lot of people didn't like them when they came out. I fell in love with it. I bag it for a year now. Awesome big flex lines, great forehand disc. You can give it some gas on a little bit of ante, and it'll just go straight, hold that, and then it'll dump out at the end. This disc is awesome. Perfect wind complement to this Rive. Definitely the overstable kind of version of it. And then I have my absolute beefcake, a Supreme Flight PD2. This is what I throw on monster headwinds when it's like 30 miles an hour. Maybe if I need to get real quick under some trees or some foliage and get a nice skip out of it, I might throw this, but really it's just my headwind distance driver. And then honorable mention, a glitch. I use this to catch with, warm up with a little bit. If I need to hit like a spinner from inside some brush or something, then that's what I'll do. But I really don't generally throw this off the tee or anything like that out on the course. So honorable mention, the glitch. Another honorable mention is going to be this Proton Matrix that I picked up off of the used shelf. This disc is actually so sweet. Pretty close to this. This actually handles forehands a little bit better than the Balance does. And it kind of feels more like a Pyro than this, but it's a little bit more shallow. So I've just been kind of testing this thing out. Really actually been enjoying it. Holds nice flex lines, holds nice hyzers. Thank you so much for watching my first in the bag of the 2026 season. Here in the Midwest, we got a lot of wind, so I got a lot of stability in the bag, a little bit of understability in the bag. But yeah, that's my in the bag, and stay tuned for more stuff. I got some fun content planned, some good goofy videos, and also a ACE challenge for the month of February. Stay tuned.